Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. So it's my friends over at Yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today is the Fawning Over Fans crochet shawl, and this is on the packaging of the Caron and Pantone Bamboo. Today we're going to work on this very easy repeat. I'm going to get you started, and then you can do the rest on your own. So in today's pattern we're using Caron and Pantone Bamboo. You'll notice that there's solid colors down here. What that is that when you're using the 5 braids you're using the same color so that it will just create a solid look like so, and then it starts to transition as you're going out through the whole thing. It's really an easy pattern. Let's take a look at the diagram instructions on the back, and then what we have here is that this is how we're going to be able to follow it, and once you understand how it's going to be repeating you just have to change the colors in order to suit. So this is a really quite an easy pattern to be able to follow, and there is a nice easy repeat once you get started, and then from there you can have a great shawl in no time. To duplicate the look of the shawl you'll notice that there is a straight pattern A, B, C, and etc. and it has to repeat a certain amount of times. What this is that if you're looking at here you see that there's A, B, C, and you just have to make it look like it belongs. So for example if you wanted to use a different color and you say this is A, what I would do is write on your sheet saying this gray color is an A, and this is B, and this is C, and etc. So you can change anything that you would like to do. Now for example say you wanted to do A and B to be the same color, you will run out of yarn because this has been designed for the braids so that you actually have enough of yarn to work with throughout this whole thing. As you flip the page over you'll notice that the continuing of the repeat pattern to be able to do the coloring you'll see that there's D and E. So if you thought in the front that you're missing those 2 colors, it's not. It's just on the back here as we flip on over. So what we're going to do today is that we're going to get you nice and started, and let's begin to play. You'll need a 5mm size H crochet hook and your favorite colors of Caron and Pantone Bamboo. So let's begin today. I am using a 5mm size H crochet hook today, and let's begin. We're going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 5th chain from the hook, which is the starting, I want you to place in 1 double crochet, and that will count as your first double crochet, your chain 1 space, and your last double crochet. So this is the very point of your shawl. Let's turn it and let's do row number 2. So let's get yourself started on row number 2. We're going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. You're going to notice that the double crochet is holding on to this existing one. That's important to know because in the next one we're going to do the shells. The shells are always 9 double crochets, and then the next one over we're going to place in the next double crochet there, so in order to keep it stable. So let's put in 9 double crochets right into the space. So let's count those out together. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So that's a lot in there, right? So because it's shifting over like this you want to pull it back, okay, and you want to get really kind of close to that and just double crochet right into a chain. Now if it's not the second one over I wouldn't worry about it too much, but that's exactly what it needs to look like when you're done this row. So let's now move up to row number 3. So as we turn our work into row number 3, 3, 5, 7, 9, and etc. they'll always be the setup rows because the shells will appear in the rows that will attach to those. So let's begin a setup row for doing your shells in the next row after that. So we're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, that's your first double crochet, and the 4th is a chain 1 space, and in the very first one where it comes out of, that's where you're going to double crochet. Now when you're going up over top of these shells they're always going to be the same thing, going to be chaining 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And because this is just row number 3 there's not much else to do, so you're going to come into the very last turning chain and you're going to double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet, and you'll notice that just sits loosely kind of over top. So let's turn our work and do row number 4. So because this is an even number we're now going to do shell work. Let's begin that next. So as we progress to number 4 we're gonna chain up 3, which is part of that first one, and then these spaces that you worked here is your next shell. So there's never a shell in this long space, it's always in these little ones here. And so now there's gonna be 2 shells. So there's gonna be 9 double crochets. So let's count those out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And now once you have your 9 in, you're gonna come to the middle one. Okay, so it's the 5th one over. So you can either count it or you can just look and say, okay, that's the middle one. So I'm gonna say this is the middle one. I'm looking at it. So it's the 5th one over, and what you're going to do is that you're going to single crochet into that one, and you're going to trap this chain right over top of it so it holds it into position. See? Isn't that neat? And now you're going to begin the next shell, which is gonna be in the space, which is the final for row number 4. So you're gonna just immediately start, reach over and put in 9 double crochets. This is number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And as soon as you get that done, just kind of push them over a bit to get some chain space there, and just double crochet into the chain. That holds it nice and stable for you. And let's begin then row number 5. So turning our work, we're going to create those long chains again. So to do number 5, you're going to chain 4, which counts as a double crochet and a chain 1 space. So chaining 4, and in the same one you're going to double crochet. Now you're going up over top of a shell. Do you remember how many that you got to chain? It's 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And right where you did the single crochet before is where you're going to place in the next double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in there. So it's like a V-stitch. So every time you're putting in these kind of V-stitch looks, one in here and here, that's where the next shell is gonna be in the next layer. So chaining 5 to go up over top of the next shell, and then just on the last one here you're going to double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. So let's turn to work. Are you starting to understand this pattern? It's a really quite easy one. So let's begin. We're going to chain 3, and that sits on top of this first one, and now there's gonna be 9 in that space, the next one. So let's count it out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now you're gonna come to the 5th one over, but if you're confident and you can just look to where you think it is, just double or single crochet into the top of that one, trapping that chain space right up over top, and it will hold it, and then begin again. So your next shell is in the next V-stitch. So there's gonna be 9. So you just reach over and start double crocheting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then you look at this next chain space, so you want to trap that, so going into the middle one, so it's the 5th one over, single crochet to trap it, that chain, and then do your last one. So do you see the growth on this? It's really easy. There's a new shell pretty much added to every time there is a shell, and the framework, which is the large chains that we have to put in, it really kind of holds it and gets it ready so that you can do that in the next row. So that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and just shift it over a little bit just to access more chain, and then just double crochet right into the chain to stabilize it. So I'm gonna show you one more row, see how it's growing. So let's turn our work. So let me show you one more repeat, and so you're gonna chain 4, counts as your first double crochet, chain 1 space, double crochet in the same one. You chain 5, so 1 2 3 4 5, and now you come to the next single crochet, which is all the way past the shell, and you're going to double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, then chain 5 again, 1 2 3 4 5, and then double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the next one, next single crochet, and then 5 again because you're not done, so 1 2 3 4 5, and then just come into your very last one and put in a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. You're going to turn your work. Okay, so you got how many shells are you gonna have this time? So it's the same thing as you already know. So you're gonna chain up 3, and there will be 9 in the first one, and then you'll single crochet down into this one, and then 9 into the next one, single crochet in, 9 into the next one, single crochet in, and then the final space there will be 9, and then you just shift it over and just double crochet into the chain itself. So it's a very easy repeat pattern to be able to do this. Hopefully that you enjoy, and this is the Fawning Over Fans Crochet Shawl with our friends at Yarnspirations.com. We'll see you.